I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Finally, The Rock has come back. I hate this idea that you're the best.
And if you're not down with that, we got two words for ya!
I'm the best in the world.
I fight at WrestleMania for the very, very small percentage of people that walk this planet and say I am proud to be, I'm sorry, a professional wrestler.
Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall.
It's the podcast of the Immortals with your hosts, Matt Bush and Jimmy Bellamy.
So, does that mean that Ricky Steamboat did not give a Hurricane Rana to Miss Elizabeth?
No, I'm pretty sure he did. If I remember, I just watched WrestleMania 3 a couple months ago. And I'm pretty sure that Steamboat Savage match lasted like 2 minutes and ended with Steamboat taking out Miss Elizabeth
for a
DQ. And that's why it was so fondly remembered in the annals of WrestleMania history.
I was making my own WrestleMania moment. Oh, that's a good game, though. It's, I guess, every WrestleMania fan's dream. It has, everybody from John Cena to Big John Studd.
Yeah.
That's quite a roster, but I don't know. I know I'm too nitpicky when it comes to the customization of characters and not being able to change their outfits and their ring gear, entrance gear.
You are so nitpicky.
Just give us no mercy. They perfected the game in 2000, 2001. Just make that with a good Royal Rumble, Battle Royal mode, and
new moves.
Infinite customability of guys. Because if you remember in No Mercy, you could take, Triple H and make him, a fat black guy.
Yeah.
You could change everything about every character, but whatever. We want to know your first impressions of WWE 2K14. Matt and I spent the last, hour
and a half almost, yeah.
playing that, and it was fun. I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Me too. I pre-ordered it as well. Apparently there was an issue with the pre-order I'm a little upset about, because the only reason I pre-ordered it and the only reason I talked to you into pre-ordering it is so that you could get the Ultimate Warrior as a playable character. Yeah. And what happened?
No Warrior, at least for me and for several other people on Twitter. I didn't dig deep enough to see if everyone was having that problem, but I pre-ordered it, picked it up, failed to realize that, the Warrior icon or picture, just like Tyson was last year, and I think Rock in WWE 12, was not on there as the downloadable character. But I put in the code for my online pass, which is free and comes on the mini instruction manual. That worked out fine, and I just assumed that the Ultimate Warrior would be available, and he wasn't. So then I did a Twitter search, because I looked everywhere I could possibly look for a code, and it seems like a lot of other people are having that issue. In addition to that, people who have purchased the season pass have not gotten the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, which was promised with the season pass purchase.
And I would be really upset about that too, because I'm a huge NWO mark. I've always loved them. I've loved Kevin Nash. I love Scott Hall. I was a huge Razor fan. Razor will be in this game without the code, but I was really excited to play as them, and I'm sure they'll fix it. But when you promise something, you have months and months and months to figure this stuff out. You got to get it right. People are spending a lot of money on these games.
That's true. And if you buy that season pass, that's $80 total.
Yeah.
The issue I'm taking with it is that stuff should be set prior to launch. Get it out of the way. 2K was great as far as, I haven't heard a response yet, but they're referring people to their @2K support Twitter handle, and then from there you can find a website to go to. I set up a fix-it ticket. I'm sure they're going through it by the thousands, so I'm not going to be impatient. I'm also not going to be the people who are like, oh, F you, blah, 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 I hate you, go bleep yourself. But one thing that I can't argue, or I can argue with, I should say, in support of 2K is the people who were bitching about the servers being down online. Think about it. They were getting a flood on the first day. Mm-hmm. Be patient. You should expect server issues.
This happens on like every single game, including Grand Theft Auto 5, which should have more servers than any other game ever, possibly. They had $1 billion in sales. They didn't go live with online right away. They knew how many customers were excited about playing online, and they still couldn't handle the load.
Yeah.
It's just a common thing. It's going to get better. I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. But we played, 2-3 matches? We played against each other. What was that match? It was Dolph Ziggler versus Roman Reigns. And I was Roman Reigns. I went for the spear. You reversed it like a jerk. Famous heard me and then gave me the zigzag. 1, 2, 3. I'm out. Shield lose.
That was a fun match. And by the way, you're listening to episode 44 of
Podcast Immortals, yes.
Brought to you by Wrestle News. WrestleNews.com.
I'm Matt Bush, by the way.
And I'm Jimmy Bellamy.
He's Jimmy Bellamy.
And we played my copy of WWE 2K14. Matt will be getting his. He was going to get it today, but he had a time crunch between work and everything. Worked late tonight.
Yeah.
But we were able to play it here, and it was fun. I dabbled through some of the customization modes and everything. I played one match before you got here. I was CM Punk, and I defeated Brock Lesnar in a pretty cool match that saw John Cena interfere and try to attack me, and he did. He gave me the STFU, not the STFU, the FU, or attitude adjustment, twice on the outside, and Bork Laser gave me the F5, and I still managed to win because he pinned me, and I got a rope break, so I lucked out there. And then I reversed one of his moves, like shoved him or clotheslined him or something onto the ring steps, which were in the ring at the time, and then I was able to give him the flying elbow drop off the top rope while he was lying on the steps, and I pinned him 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
And then after our second match, you and I...
We took a tag match.
Team.
Tornado tag.
Elimination tornado
tag. We got destroyed.
In what, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes?
No, it took a little longer than that. We were kind of playing around for a while, but I was CM Punk, you were Daniel Bryan. We were taking on the team of Triple H and Randy Orton.
The Authority.
Yeah, this would be an awesome main event. We were saying, like, man, we should... I want to see this match.
I think we will.
And we got buried by Triple H. He pinned, like, I'm fighting Orton, and you're like, dude, I just got pinned. I looked over, and sure enough, you're walking out the ring. I'm like, oh crap! And I turn around. Triple H hits me with a pedigree, and then I get pinned, and I'm like, well, what happened? But that's a good sign because I don't think I ever lost to the computer in WWE 13, unless it was some weird like 6-man ladder match, and like I was knocked out, and someone climbed the ladder when I wasn't able to get up. But
I dropped the occasional match, but it wasn't often.
Yeah.
But we redeemed ourselves. Immediately rematched.
Yeah.
Same guys. And we
had a rematch clause.
And we beat the holy hell out of them.
Yeah, and it was great. I think I made Orton tap to the Anaconda Vice.
Yep.
And then you hit the flying knee.
And you pinned Triple H after that.
For the win, yep.
It was a good match. And then we did WrestleMania mode.
Yeah.
The first 3 matches, 2 plus. We had
two in like a quarter, maybe.
As Andre the Giant, I slammed Big John Studd in
won
the
$15,000
body slam challenge, and then threw it all over the place. And then at WrestleMania 2, as Hulk Hogan, I defeated King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match
to retain the WWF Championship.
And then in WrestleMania 3, I don't know why I got DQ'd. As Ricky Steamboat, I gave a Hurricanrana to Miss Elizabeth on the outside, which immediately ended the match.
It was so great because I thought you were Macho Man, and all of a sudden Steamboat turns around and like takes out Miss Elizabeth, and I'm like, what's happening right now?
You looked at me so surprised, and I thought, oh, you must think I'm not savage.
Not a bad person.
Or you must think I'm savage, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. But if the computer had done that, I would have been upset. I'm like, no, we can't have this. This game's broken, but I'm glad it was you. One thing we forgot to mention is that Big Show interfered in our match.
Yeah.
Randomly, and he would not leave. Like,
yeah, the second tag match that went longer and in our favor, Big Show comes out and he gives the knockout punch to Orton, and then he's about to give it to Triple H, and he like has this like panic attack and starts like waving his arms. We are not making this up. This actually happened. Actually on the game, not in real life.
Yeah.
But he starts waving his arms and then like rolling on the ground on his own, leaves the ring and starts rolling on the ground like he's doing an extra scared Ric Flair taunt, like the no. But it was weird, and we were kind of messing around with him after that. We'd hit him, and then Orton started fighting Triple H for a little bit.
Yeah,
it was very.
And then Big
very
Show
weird.
got up onto like the top rope and just sat there.
And then he ended up jumping off, I think he was trying to hit Triple H, but it was one of those moments where you're engaged with another combatant, so then like it just cancels, like nothing happens. Yeah. It was that was interesting. I'm going to assume that was a glitch, but it was kind of funny.
It was fun.
I wish we were recording.
I wish that was a real match with Big Show coming down, just spazzing out, like crying in the corner, and because he attacked me too.
Yeah, he did
a couple times.
He was going to leave the ring at one time, and he was walking out, and I tried to attack him, and he ended up reversing me from my attempt. The only thing is, what I've noticed is quick strikes are too quick. I mean, the punches and the kicks are uber fast, and I don't really like it. The game is kind of what I feared, and it's a reversal fest, and maybe I can turn that down with the reverse sensitivity, but if it's going to be like that, it's not going to be as fun.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the moves, and I think this part is a plus, have a lot of impact. I don't know if it necessarily takes a ton of damage away, and I know you can adjust that, but the moves are very impactful, which make it look kind of cool. I mean, some might say over the top and maybe not good, but I like that effect. It's cool.
Yeah. From what I've seen in the limited time that I've spent with it, and we haven't even gotten to all the modes yet. Universe mode is still sitting there, but all the customization, all the new stuff. They also have like new moves that you can do that I'm excited to see, like signatures on the ring posts and stuff like that.
And you can climb the top rope from the outside,
which is a good.
I loved it.
That's really nice.
That's a great feature.
But yeah, good step forward. I think I really like the WrestleMania mode so far. I think that's going to be cool. The animations look great. The cutscenes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Macho Man looked fantastic. I loved it. They got video clips from like the promos leading up to the matches. It's really cool. It really gives you a good history lesson if you haven't watched all the WrestleManias like I tend to.
That visual filter's beautiful too.
Yeah.
That they make the 80s and 90s matches, the pre-HD matches. I mean, even I'm interested in the early 2000s matches to see in pre-HD if they like have the bars on the side or what they do, but just a cool game. And what I'm looking forward to is once I've unlocked all the WrestleMania arenas, is fighting at those early WrestleMania ones. Like right now, of course, the beautiful thing about games like this being, I guess, this game and the game from last year with the Attitude Era mode is once you've completed the tasks in that match, you acquire those combatants. Mm-hmm. So, we waited, one match and then we got Andre the Giant. 2 matches, we have Hulk Hogan. And if I hadn't gotten DQ'd, I'd have Macho Man too.
Man.
So that's going to be sweet. And Macho Man is one guy who, because I'm so OCD about attires, or at least I like to mix and match or have several attires for a character, I'm excited to customize Macho Man's colors, because he was a guy who wore several different colored tights, several different colored boots and knee pads, it's going to be fun to mix it up and see what I can do.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of Macho Man different outfits, because at 4 he had a great one. At 7 he had an awesome one.
He has the Macho King outfit at one of those Manias.
WrestleMania 7 against the Ultimate Warrior, actually.
And then we get NWO Macho Man.
The man. But he's a different character.
Well, he's a different character, and he's got the white and the black Madness outfit, but I'm going to hope and assume that you can unlock an NWO shirt attire for him or something, even though he really didn't wear the NWO shirt ever. Maybe give him the red and black for the Wolfpack colors too. Woo! It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be just too sweet.
Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack.
You might end up in a body bag.
Now, were you black and white NWO fan or red and black?
I was black and white by default. I was not really an NWO fan at all because I was so hardcore WWE,
sure.
WWF at the time, of course. That I was a purist in the sense that when WCW versus NWO World Tour came out, I was in the corners of Hall, Nash, Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, and Scott Norton, my personal favorite, with NWO Revenge, WCW versus NWO Revenge, that once it got huge, and it's funny because I know even with Scott Norton in it, it was kind of already beyond what it was originally. But I wasn't even into like Kurt Hennig being in NWO or Buff Bagwell, even though Buff and Norton were the tag team, Vicious and Delicious. Stayed with black and white, red and black. I hated Conan or whatever the hell he was.
Conan O'Brien.
I did not like Conan. I liked Sting. Didn't like Luger.
Yeah.
So I was a black and white, original black and white, not like when it broke into like NWO 2000 or NWO Elite or NWO Hollywood
or the Latino World Order.
Oh jeez.
I was a huge Wolfpack fan actually because I just love Kevin Nash, and mostly I was at that age where you would have a birthday party for like everyone you knew every single year, and a lot of them would like be at a hotel and you'd be at a pool party, and like we would, of course, all we would do is wrestle and do wrestle moves, and my go-to move was either the Razor's Edge or the Jackknife Powerbomb, and it's the same setup, but I would do it to everybody, and that was just my move, and I loved that move so much that I would always be Kevin Nash in the NWO.
You could do that. You could create Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
he played basketball at Tennessee.
Really? Is that where he tore his first quad?
Probably.
But no, WCW, NWO World Tour, and Revenge, I was always Kevin Nash or Goldberg in the latter game. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I'm pumped to see the outsiders in that game if they ever get that cleared up. It'll be good. I'm excited. Good game. I give it a solid B+. And it's a B+ player.
I'm going to buy the season pass, but I'm not going to unlock the characters.
Yeah,
I'm going to get them one by one, and I'll do the same with the arenas.
Yeah, I made that mistake of I didn't realize what it was, and I clicked it, and everything was unlocked. It kind of took part of the fun out of it, you know.
And I wonder if they've fixed the bug that occurred last year, where once you bought it and you unlocked everything, it erased your progress.
Oh, really?
And there was a way to avoid doing that. Luckily, I saw that people were having an issue with it prior to downloading it, and I used the workaround that THQ at the time provided. Now with 2K, although I think this game was developed a lot by Ukes, and that 2K really didn't have, the heavy lifting to do that they'll have to do in the future now.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
Yeah.
Fun game. I'm already excited to play it when I get a chance tomorrow.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to play online against us, I wonder if we should put our gamer tags up.
Absolutely. My PS3 gamer tag, I don't have an Xbox. My PS3 gamer tag is Bell0287. B as in boy, ELL like Bellamy, and then 0287. That's my old college ID.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is 97 Bush. The 9 is spelt out Nine though. The 7 is a number, and then Bush is Busch. That was because they wouldn't let me use the number 9. They wouldn't let me start my profile with
a numeral. Okay.
And I use like 97 Bush is that's my Twitter handle. That's like my
Where did that
Facebook
come from?
page.
The 9 and 7.
It's actually a funny story. I'm
Is it as funny as how you became a Green Bay Packers fan?
It kind of is.
You might have to tell that one too.
Okay, yeah. Well, I became 97 Bush in high school, my senior year of high school. I was a captain of the golf team. I'd gone to state. I was playing number 1, and I hurt my ankle. And like early in the season, and I rolled it twice within like 2 weeks, and my timing was just off. Mm-hmm. And I was
so you went from a 7-iron to a 9-iron, or a 9 to a 7? Is that what it was?
No. What happened was I used to shoot like in the 70s, pretty much close to every round. I ended up shooting 97 3 times during my senior year, which is awful.
Yeah,
especially for what they expected of me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd come in and they're like, "Bush, how'd you shoot?" And I'm like, "I shot a 97." And it just stuck. People started calling me 9-7, and it wasn't 97; it was 9-7. And to this day, people call me, "What's up, 9-7?" And it just stuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's one of those nicknames that just kind of stuck around.
I like how nicknames like that originate. Mm-hmm. My family, I mean, my dad. It started with my dad. He gives everybody a nickname, and a lot of people in our lives, he's given multiple nicknames to. So whenever we get together with old friends, we go down the list every time, like boom, boom, boom. Here's your nickname to this person. This person knows you as this nickname. So I appreciate a 9-7 Bush,
nice.
Especially the origin of it. That's cool.
It's you kind of own it, when people make fun of you.
What I like about it is that if somebody sees that and they don't know you, they might think, oh, he must have either been born in 1997 or he graduated high school in 97. So I love that it has
been with 97 women, or
I love that it has nothing to do with the year.
Yeah.
And that's like, I love my college ID, and I got it from this dude. I got the idea from this guy named Ben Edmondson. I went to college with him at UMD, Minnesota Duluth, for those of you outside the area. And he was playing, I played Grand Theft Auto 3 with him for the first time.
Yeah. Back
in college, at a party at his house. And then we became friends, and back when everybody had AOL Instant Messenger, this was pre-Facebook and everything, pre-smartphone, all that.
Yep.
He was Edmu0026, and that was his email address for school.
Yeah.
Edmu0026, and I was Bell0287, so I kind of adopted that as, my gamer tag, and I've used it for a couple of other things, like sign up stuff and just different web stuff. But it's I like it. Bell0287. Plus, it makes me think fondly of college too.
There you go.
Nothing but great memories of college. So
good time.
It's cool to have that.
Should I tell my?
Yeah, tell your Packers story. We promise we'll get into Raw.
Yeah, we'll talk about wrestling soon here. When I was I live in Minnesota. I live in a family of Viking fans, a state of Viking fans, and I was a Viking fan when I was young.
I too am a Viking fan.
Jimmy is a Viking fan as well. I became a Packer fan at around the age of 6 or 7. I don't remember the exact age, but it was right around that time. When I was growing up, I was a huge Herschel Walker fan. Herschel Walker played for the Vikings until he didn't, and it was right around that time, I believe. And me being a young buck, I heard Herschel Walker's name on the television, and I look up and I see him in some highlight playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, they didn't say that he was playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. All I saw was that he was wearing a green jersey. Me, being super duper smart, automatically correlate green, meaning that he plays for Green Bay. See how I made that jump there? And ever since then, I've been a Green Bay Packer fan. And I think it was either that year or the year after, Brett Favre started his first game under center, and yeah, it's been a good run. 22 years of some pretty good football. 2 Super Bowls. Yeah.
You, I guess you picked a winner. I struggle with the non-Wisconsin Packer fans because they seem to be plentiful. I mean, Shane, our guy, our Irish buddy, just, right now sleeping 300 feet or I guess 800 feet away from us right now at his house. He's a Packers fan.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous as a Vikings fan because every team that wins a championship inevitably gains fans from outside of their core area because everyone's a bandwagon jumper.
Yeah.
Jumper. That's making up words.
Jumpers.
Bandwagon jumper. And I'm not calling you that because you have a unique story to it.
Yeah.
But Shane, when he started noticing American football, was when the Packers won the, I almost said World Series, the Super Bowl.
When they scored all them home runs.
When they pitched that complete game and won the championship. The old Green Bay 9.
First off, we're going to grab some ice cubes.
When Green Bay won the Super Bowl a few years ago, and he was, coming to the U.S. for the first time and became a fan, and I'm just sick of people, who are from other places and they're Packer fans. Just bugs me.
Yeah, we are plentiful, that's for sure. People do want to join greatness, and I suppose Packers are pretty great.
Boo.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Okay, we do need to talk about some wrestling besides video games and golf scores and whatever. So we'll get right into it. John Cena, champ, is here. Says he is back to compete as World Heavyweight Champion. He'll be on tour. He's going to wrestle on SmackDown now because apparently SmackDown needs some ratings. And he's back and ready to go. A You Suck chant starts almost immediately after that, which I enjoyed. But I'm glad John Cena's back, honestly. Champ is here, and here comes Damien Sandow with his briefcase after he makes his big speech.
I'm sick of the champ. Sick of the champ.
Sick of John Cena?
Yeah, we don't need him back this soon. And I thought about it tonight because I kind of went off on Twitter yesterday about him winning last night's match after being brutally beaten by Sandow. I thought it was an awesome segment. It was one where I found myself fast clapping and uncontrollably fast clapping, and just thinking, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen?" But I knew that Cena would win just based on what the announcers were saying because they were doing the doom and gloom, like, "Oh, it's over," and I just knew he was going to overcome.
John Cena certainly cannot overcome.
So, if this match advances Sandow's character, which it should, based on his performance, and credit to Cena, based on Cena's performance, Sandow looked great. It was a great match. It got a "This is awesome" chant. They had 2 commercial breaks, though, and I had a problem with that.
Yeah, they did.
I went to the app, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what they wanted. But to have a WWE championship, a World Heavyweight Championship match, impromptu like that, take 2 commercial breaks.
It did seem weird.
It took away from the importance of it and the seriousness of it, because in a match like that, in a cash-in, where at any moment the champion could lose because he's at a disadvantage, it takes away all believability.
Yeah, go back and watch the Del Rio Ziggler cash-in.
Best cash-in ever to this point. Best cash-in.
Yep. The whole crowd was on pins and needles the entire time, obviously. And they didn't cut away. It was like 5 minutes long. It wasn't like super long match or anything, but it's an important thing. Like everyone who's cashed in until last night had successfully done it John Cena didn't, but that was a weird circumstance because he didn't cash it in. He set a match in advance, and it was, every man, equal and blah blah blah. Of course, because John Cena. But yeah, it definitely needed something, but I did love the match. I have to admit, I love the match. Sandow had come down and claimed himself the uncrowned champ this year. He said, it says he knows that it's humanly impossible for a tricep to heal that quickly, and he knows why John Cena is so adamant about being back and being 100%. It's because he's afraid that Sandow will cash in, and that's when he cashed in. And I actually really, really liked the match. Even though John Cena won, I'm glad. I hate to say this, but I'm glad John Cena's back. I think he adds something to the show that, and he can wrestle. He can.
He absolutely can. Like I said this. I think a number of podcasts ago or episodes ago. He has taken one for the team, and he's allowed WWE to keep him leashed, to be the guy that they want him to be, because his character is just a small percentage about being in the ring. The rest of it, an enormous amount of it, is about what he is for the company's image and what he is to the kids who cheer him.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So, the man can wrestle, and if he was allowed to be like everybody else and do the best he can to build his character and change and evolve, he would be one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And people might laugh at that, but if you got a chance to see him,
he's got the talent.
Yeah, he'd do amazing things with it. I did feel a little uncomfortable. I was getting douche chills during his promo, though. He was channeling 2004 John Cena, and I was getting uncomfortable.
I love him coming back and all that, but it's John Cena. If he sees what's going on with Daniel Bryan, he had left with Daniel Bryan beating him. He kind of passed the torch and all that, blah blah blah. Why isn't John Cena involved in the Triple H angle? Why isn't CM Punk involved in the Triple H angle? Why are all these guys? It'd be like,
why do they have 2 belts?
Well, yeah, but I've harped on this over and over again. But in the Attitude Era, if something was going on with The Rock that would affect the entire company, Stone Cold would have been there as well. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you can't have your top guys just wrestling Paul Heyman. I'm sorry. If you have this huge angle that's supposed to affect the entire company, why isn't CM Punk out there on the ramp with the rest of the roster at the end of the show? Why isn't John Cena out there? Why don't they have anything to say about what Triple H is doing? It drives me insane that they're missing opportunities.
It takes away the believability, and it takes away the impact of it too. I mean, why am I supposed to care about this?
Yeah, if John Cena and CM Punk don't care, why should I?
I don't care that the primetime players and the Usos are involved in this, mutiny.
Yeah,
it's just not. Like I said with the pay-per-view, it was just disjointed.
Yeah,
in that sense. And if I'm supposed to believe that this is as significant as it should be, or that WWE wants it to be, you've got to have those guys involved.
Yeah, and you can have other feuds branch off of this main feud. Like, you can have John Cena involved, and maybe he tries to interfere, and then someone comes down and beats him up, or something, or CM Punk. There's just so many ways that it can go, and they're missing the boat on it. And I think they have all the pieces in place to have something great. And I love the stuff with Daniel Bryan, actually, and I like the Orton stuff, and I like the whole power trip that Triple H is on. I think they just need to realize that this needs more tentacles. It needs more branches going out. It can't just be a closed thing, because it affects the entire company. Mm-hmm. It's not, the Usos are running in at Daniel Bryan's aid. No, it should be CM Punk. It should be Daniel Bryan. It should be these guys. Why aren't you promoting your stars? Is it that important that CM Punk is excluded so he can take on Ryback?
I would love to be sitting in on those meetings and just to find out what something's going on where somebody's making a decision that it's just it seems last minute, and it doesn't make sense, and there's no reason that their planning shouldn't make complete sense from episode to episode and hour to hour.
Yeah,
it's just so much. And if you guys at WWE are too busy, or it's just
we'll freelance some scripts for you.
Hire us, we'll do it for you. But
we'll do it for free.
I have a sense though that they have more than enough capable minds there. It's being vetoed.
Yeah,
it's being screwed up at the last second.
I'm sure they have some kind of PR group that says, "Oh, this group doesn't like when you do this kind of stuff," and they're trying to. When you try to please everyone, you please no one. It's kind of that thing. When everyone's a winner, everyone's a loser.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta play to your strength. Know what works. I mean, you had 10 million people watching your program at one point, on cable. You're down to 3 or 4 million now. Obviously, you've lost touch with half of your audience, and I don't know. They're so close. They have everything there. They have the talent. They have young talent. They have established talent. They just got guys on the mic. They have great scripts. But it just doesn't click altogether. It's like, I don't know. It's just too big of a machine, and there's one gear that's out of motion or something. It's so close. I just want it. It can be so good.
It can be, but I feel bad about the last 3 months. Things they've missed. I mean, they had such a good build at first when they introduced
SummerSlam.
Bryan as this character.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've ruined it. It feels just as icky as the whole CM Punk Kevin Nash thing, and then what you and I talked about earlier in the night when we were playing about how Triple H beat CM Punk in 2011. That was just stupid.
Yeah,
it made no sense. I mean, it just took everything off the rails.
Yep. Yeah, they just mess up some stuff. But my next question is, after Sando lost here, where does he go?
That's the thing. I will be less upset if this elevates his character. And as Andy McKinnon suggested, this would be good for Sandow if they have a triple threat match for the title. But he just lost his cash in. How does he become a contender for the title?
And that's what I said. Like, he hasn't won a match in 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And now he just lost his cash in. Why would he deserve another shot at the title? And Andy's like, well, because it's WWE. And they don't care about that stuff. And I'm like, well, fair enough.
And that's very possible.
Yeah.
But this last night's match.
Oh, by the way, Andy, there's your shout out. He was mad that we didn't say his name last week.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
Boo-hoo. That confrontation, Sandow. I mean, when I heard his music, I got kind of a chill. Like, I mean, that sounds so.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and it wasn't a douche chill. To see him come down there and confront Cena the way he did, cut a great promo. And then the way he was going to leave, and then the way he attacked him and just brutally beat him with that briefcase, that is a champion, and that is a heel at its finest. And it made no sense that he went on this losing streak prior to this, and his feud with Cody. If that can somehow flare up again, and Cody if they can both be in the title hunt. I know I can't have it both ways because I can't have all of these people involved in the title hunt, and I'm advocating for there being one title too.
Yeah.
But
I talked about this before, like
maybe I answered my own question with that.
After a feud ends, now a championship feud, they're like, oh, who's going to take on and someone will come out and like, guess what? I'm going to take on you at SummerSlam or something. They never have like stakes for it. It's never like you need to earn your spot. It's never, oh, we're gonna, we have 6 guys who all deserve it, and no one knows who it's going to be next, and we're going to have an elimination match to see who gets it. That's the main event at Raw this week. They used to do that kind of stuff, and I loved it. Like, because you never knew, like, but you always had that guy that you really liked.
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I hope he wins. And when he got beat, you're like, oh crap, and then but next month he might get another shot at it. Now it's just like whoever they choose to go against him, like whoever hit him in the backstage.
And because I like so many of the wrestlers and appreciate their abilities and think they do a good job at being well-rounded characters when it comes to their charisma and their actual in-ring ability and their marketability, I'm okay understanding that some of these guys may never win a title, or they could go years without being rewarded with a championship. But I really just want one belt. And I want all of them to be involved. And I want all of the stories to make sense. And WWE television is lacking sense. They've proven they can do it. They can have it both ways by appealing to the kids and the casual fans and appealing to the people who really follow it and really get into the characters. My favorite thing about wrestling is the characters. That's why I tell you with every video game that comes out, just give me all of the characters possible and let me just have matches with them.
Yeah.
They've had their moments, especially in this Bryan feud early on. They've had their chance and they've made it make sense at times. And then they've filled in these little gaps with nonsense. And that's unfortunate to see.
There was...
With nonsense in the Big Show.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to Big Show soon, but there was a moment in this whole Daniel Bryan angle that I was really excited about. And it was Triple H when he said that maybe Randy Orton isn't the face of the company, and he stripped him and he didn't give it back to Orton. And I'm like, well, who could be the face? Like, if it's not Daniel Bryan, if it's not Randy Orton, who's he thinking about? Like, there was an opportunity there, and now it's just like, okay, we just had the last 2-3 months just to put the belt back on Orton and have back to square zero. It doesn't, there was an opportunity there again.
Yeah. And all of that
whiffed.
All of that was somehow forgotten. That Triple H, I thought he wasn't your guy. The other thing that didn't make sense is if Bryan's not the guy, why did you keep giving him championship matches?
Yeah.
I mean, Vince McMahon would say, you've lost.
You're fired.
You'll never get another shot at the title ever again. And then they would put a bunch of obstacles in their way. But instead it was like, we're going to vacate the title, but you two are going to fight for it again next month.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, this match didn't count. We're going to do it again in a month. Why not just say, no, you're not getting a title shot? It didn't make sense that, okay, Triple H, if you really believe what you're saying, you wouldn't give him a title shot. Mm-hmm. You'd give someone else a title shot. And you'd have him work his way up again. Yeah. So I don't believe what you're saying, and I'm not interested in what you're saying anymore because it doesn't make sense.
I totally agree. It's a shame. Well, we've complained about Triple H for about 20 minutes, so we should probably get to the second match of the night. We had Big Show take on Dean Ambrose. This is a rematch of what happened on Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Big E wins again but this time was the Shield interfered rather than a countout like on the pay-per-view. The Usos then run in and save Big E from a triple power bomb. Then Brad Maddox pulls his Teddy Long and turns it into a 6-man tag match with the Usos and Big E taking on the Shield, and it was a great match. Of course, ends with the Usos getting double speared by Roman Reigns, which is a cool spot. I love the Roman Reigns spear. I think it's the best spear since Goldberg.
It's awesome. That double spear was phenomenal.
Yeah. So good way to start. I mean, great start to Raw. We had the cash in plus this awesome 6-man tag. Then out comes HBK to explain the explanation. It was like LeBron James, the decision. The explanation from HBK is coming. He calls out Daniel Bryan, says he didn't intend to have what happened. You sold out chance begins. HBK says Triple H is his best friend and that friendship will always come first. He asked Bryan to accept his apology and shake his hand. No chance. Not no chance. No chance. There were no. Not no chance in hell. Says Bryan was taken to... HBK then says Bryan was taken to finishing school. And on Sunday he got his final lesson. In this snake pit, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah, he gave the old Austin line, DTA, don't trust anybody.
Yeah. Then he once again asked Daniel Bryan to shake his hand. Bryan again declines. HBK then gets angry and kind of gets fed up with Daniel Bryan shaking him off and says he has stuck up for Daniel Bryan for over the last 6 months. But then he big times Bryan and tells him to shake his hand once again. Oh, there's a code.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just found my download code. It's on my receipt because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. So HBK gets angry, tells Bryan to shake his hand once again. Bryan does, but then turns it into a yes lock. HBK then taps, and Bryan is pulled off by the refs. You sold out chance. Explode once again.
Shawn Michaels did more for Daniel Bryan in a minute than Triple H has done in months. By tapping out, Shawn Michaels tapped out.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh my God, that was so awesome. What took away from it though, and this is where we get into trouble in this reality era, or just being able to tweet and all this. Shawn Michaels is tweeting, like minutes later, he's tweeting to fans and stuff about, his hunting show and everything. It's like, all right, dude, great. I mean, he sold the hell out of it, but don't go on Twitter that night.
Yeah. We head backstage. Daniel Bryan gets attacked by the Wyatts backstage.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. Rowan and Harper attack Daniel Bryan and then slam him into the wall where Bray is waiting.
Casually hanging out.
Yeah. And then Bray says the devil made him do it, then slams a storage bin into Daniel Bryan's head.
After giving him the Sister Abigail into a fence.
Yeah, very surprising. I did not expect this angle. I'm pretty excited about it. Who's the devil?
Well, because the two reasons why I think it's who I'm going to say is it's too obvious that it would be Kane, and the announcers were kind of insinuating that
that's gotta be Kane.
and with what Kane did that night, it might make it look like he's possibly involved, but I think it could be Kane because Team Hell No never really had a blow off or anything like that when it disbanded. But I think the devil is Triple H or Vince McMahon. I kind of think it's Vince. And I say that because Kane is not the devil. He's the devil's favorite demon.
Yeah.
But again, it's WWE, so who knows?
Well, but shaking hands with the devil himself.
I think it's Vince McMahon.
I think that'd be awesome because we haven't seen Vince in a while, unexplained. As to why he's not there.
He was advertised for this Raw.
Yeah,
but did not show up.
Yeah. So that'd be really interesting.
Didn't show up. Like he no-showed or overslept or something.
Yeah. Vince screwed the fans. Los Matadors took on 3MB. Ole chants are starting. Ole, 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 ole. Sami Zayn. Not a bad match until El Torito got involved.
El Torito. You mean that human in a
spicy jalapeno?
That bull in a bull costume?
Yeah. It was actually a pretty solid match until Torito got involved. Then it turned into a joke. Matadors end up winning, of course. Not going to talk much more about that match.
Don't need to.
Nope. AJ and Tamina took on the Bellas. During this match, the entrance for the Bellas, it was said that Daniel Bryan was taken to the hospital, and Brie was forced to wrestle by someone. Not really explained as to who. She looked very concerned.
The Authority, they said.
The Authority.
Which is Triple H and stuff.
Yes. Brie was forced to compete. AJ wins as Nikki taps to the Black Widow. It was what it was.
I thought that Brie looked pretty good.
I thought AJ looked pretty good.
She did too. Yeah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ability.
Yeah,
and AJ did look good too.
What are you talking? Yeah, okay.
It's been good to see these. One, it wasn't the only women's match on the show, and they're getting a lot of time, which I'm happy to see because they deserve it. I mean,
and they have the time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Maybe they'll cut out one recap.
And now, was it me or did they not do as many recaps?
I don't know.
in this show. I mean, they did their fair share, but not nearly as much as they've been known to do lately.
Thank goodness. Maybe they're finally getting the message that we have DVR. If we want to see it again, we'll go back.
That's true. That's another aspect that I think hasn't caught up with TV yet. Like with shows like this, where just like with the ad models kind of refusing to change, or they're slowly changing. The whole replay thing with WWE, it's like, okay, you guys are so into technology and social media, we have DVR, so just stop.
Kane versus Miz. Kane dominated and then wins with the chokeslam. Stephanie then enters, and this was kind of weird. Kane says she has ruined lives, but then he says he understands, though, because it's what's best for business, and that the monster is hers to unleash. Kane then approaches Stephanie and removes his mask and wig and hands it to Stephanie, who holds it up like a trophy. What the hell?
I was thankful for that, because at first I thought, why is there a Miz Kane match? This is brutal. But I was happy to see something come out of it, and I'm curious to see where Kane ends up, what he ends up doing. I knew he had to turn heel, though. I mean, he's good for a heel turn every
6 months.
Yeah, so I saw that coming.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
I think they'll use him on Bryan now, and actually, I was kind of hoping he'd come in during the Randy Orton Championship celebration.
Yeah. Next up, CM Punk came out, talked some smack about Paul Heyman. Huge CM Punk chance in that. Way over with the crowd, obviously. Says Paul Heyman is done for, so now he is focusing on Ryback, who is his next match. And Ryback and Punk fought in a street fight, which the WWE Universe chose. I was kind of surprised. I thought they'd go for tables.
Same here, but I guess in where I didn't think about it, you can have tables in a street fight.
Very true.
And the match won't end, which is kind of what we saw.
Yeah. Ryback ends up on the table, and Punk gives him a flying elbow through the table and locks in the Anaconda Vice to win. The Wyatts enter following the match, and Harper and Rowan attack CM Punk now. So that's Daniel Bryan and CM Punk on the same night. And this is how they should have been booking the Wyatts for months.
Yes, and you told me that you were watching that on DVR, so you saw it before me. But you mentioned that to me. I woke up to a text. I didn't get woken up by your text, but I saw you said they should have been doing this months ago with the Wyatts, and I agree with you. This makes sense, and I like that it's pulling together Punk and Bryan, and that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That
so I hope
to get involved.
I hope that. I hope this kind of leads to something.
I think it will.
Yeah. Next up, we had the Real Americans taking on Code Dust, which I've adopted as like my favorite name for them.
Thank you.
Yes, very solid match. That's won by the Real Americans, surprisingly.
You're welcome.
Swagger forces Goldust to tap to the Patriot Lock, and I was shocked by this.
This is proof that they listen to our podcast, because I said on our reaction show that the All Americans, the All American, the Real Americans deserve more than being in a joke tag team match, and now they've put themselves into title contention by beating the champions cleanly.
Yeah,
it was awesome to see.
It's just another team in this budding tag team division that can vie for a title. I love it. I absolutely love the tag team division.
Same here.
I would still have to say that, like in any match, the Shield have to be considered the favorite to win, which is great because they're not the champions. It's not.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they will entertain it. I think they'll stick as a three-headed monster now. I don't know if they'll go back for the titles.
I don't know. I mean, they were in a match for the titles on Sunday.
Yeah, and plus they were involved in Monday night's attack, which heavily involved the primetime players and the Usos.
Yeah.
So maybe they will be. There's no reason they shouldn't be, but
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know if they'll get another title. And I have to apologize. I successfully downloaded the Ultimate Warrior.
There you go.
I did not realize the code was on my receipt, because I pre-order a game maybe once a year, once every 2 years, and I didn't even look at my receipt.
Dumb.
And the code worked. So, 2K, I'm sorry. I wonder how many more. I saw a couple people tweet, though, that the code on their receipt did not work.
And you didn't even think to check the receipt when you read that?
Yeah, no. Oh no, I mean just now.
Oh, just now.
Yeah,
okay.
when I saw that it was possible that it was on my receipt.
Our penultimate match of the night was Summer Rae taking on Natalya. Natalya ends up winning with a sharpshooter, and Summer Rae sure looked good in defeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying?
Nah, mean.
Yeah, Summer Rae, I mean, she's not the greatest in-ring technician. She's no Mr. Perfect.
She's the greatest.
No, she's the greatest. But I don't mind her wrestling. I mean, I think she can go a little bit. It's not like watching what's her name? Ava Marie or something.
Oh, girl. No, Summer Rae's good.
Yeah.
She'll get better, too.
Yeah, for sure. And that leads us to our main event. Triple H and Stephanie are out for the championship coronation of Randy Orton. And most of the locker room, not John Cena or CM Punk, because they must be in their limos or something. I don't know. And are out, and so is the Shield to stand guard. Orton comes out and says that having the title makes him better than everyone and makes him better than you. Says he's the face of the WWE and the face of their superior, meaning the other wrestlers. Like, he's superior to them. After this, the Big Show's music hits, and he is attacked by Shield, I assume, but I wrote Show. I think it's Shield, wasn't it?
Who?
The Big Show was attacked by the Shield, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wrote he was attacked by a Show, which doesn't make any sense. The Usos attack the Shield, and then Show scatters Triple H and Stephanie from the ring. He says he doesn't care if his lawsuit bankrupts the WWE. He's going to get back at Triple H. Orton then attacks Show with the belt, but is met with the WMD. Triple H backs away from Big Show, and Stephanie stops him from returning to the ring as Raw goes off the air. Looks like we're heading for that match that no one wants, Triple H versus Big Show at Survivor Series, which was rumored, and looks like we'll probably get that.
See, I don't want that, but I'm afraid it's going to be Show versus Orton for the title at some point. Like, I have a feeling he'll say, I will drop the lawsuit if you give me the title. I don't know if he'll say something like that. Or if they'll say, we'll give you a title match if you drop the lawsuit. I don't know. But
I just don't need another Big Show main event push.
No. There's no reason.
Even if he wins it, I'm like, oh, okay. Great.
And that's how I felt about his last few World Heavyweight title runs.
Yeah.
I just didn't care.
Yeah. It's a shame, because I like Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he shouldn't close a pay-per-view, you know? He shouldn't be taking on guys like Triple H. Like,
we've named like 6 guys in this podcast who are more than capable of being WWE champion.
Yeah.
They just don't need Big Show. I mean, Big Show can be, chasing it, but I don't want to see Show one-on-one with somebody for a title. I certainly don't want to see Show versus Triple H.
No.
If I want to see Triple H Bryan, I want to see HBK Bryan.
Yes.
I'll take HBK Triple H if they really want to have their WrestleMania match. But I want to see Orton defend it against Punk or against Bryan or against somebody completely new like Dolph Ziggler. I don't know.
Big Show, I mean, he's had a great career.
I like him, as you said.
But it's just like, oh, Big Show again. I mean, and it's kind of fresh what's going on, but I mean, the whole he's out of money and he's suing, and it's like, it carries no weight. There's just nothing at stake for the viewer.
And that doesn't make you an endearing character by saying, oh, the guy has no money. Well, he blew all his monie.
Why I have no sympathy for MC Hammer,
Mm-hmm.
or Latrell Sprewell, or any of the others who've lost millions and millions of dollars. I'm sorry you spent all this money on stuff you didn't need, and you didn't think it through. But that's not our problem. You had it all and threw it away. That's not very simple. There's no sympathy from people who have not much.
No, exactly. They've got a chance to redeem themselves with Sandow because he and Cena both looked very good in that match. I have a problem with, though, WWE's track record and with the way Santa lost to a guy who had one functional
literally
arm.
one arm.
That bothers me.
Yeah. At least he had both legs.
And yeah, I guess. So with Survivor Series coming up, they can redeem themselves by a good WWE Championship match. I don't see them going Brian Orton again, though. I mean, you can't possibly do that. If they do, there's got to be someone else involved. Big Show.
I want them part of the
Maybe
Survivor
Triple H.
Series teams. That could be a main event.
Can they put the title on the line, though? Like, that would be kind of cool if they had a 5-on-5 match, 10-man tag, with the title on the line.
Yeah.
And that...
See, that makes me so sad because it would have made more sense if Daniel Bryan would have been forced to put his title on the line in a situation like that.
You're right.
And Orton would never put his title on the line in a 5-on-5 match.
Maybe they'll have a stipulation where Bryan wins the right to pick a stipulation or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's obvious ways around it, but it would have been more organic if it was like that. But yeah, that was Raw. I mean, it was a good Raw. I actually liked it. But I feel like we complained a lot again tonight. we tend to do that a lot. It's not because we're disappointed. It's because we cared too much and we wanted to be better. And it can be better. They're just close. They just need a little push in the right direction.
And I'll say this. WWE, I'm not going to tune out. So it's not like you're going to do something one week and I'm going to say, oh, you've lost me.
Yeah.
But we know you're better than this. So prove it to us.
Yeah.
I mean...
Challenge.
If we can come up with ideas and say, like, oh, it'd be great for it to make this turn, and it doesn't, and it's not even about it being predictable, it's just that you're predictable in the way that you're going to completely have a storyline, like, go off the rails and not make sense.
Yeah.
When it's easy to make it not just make sense, but flourish.
Yeah.
In my opine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
all right, but
for sure.
That's pretty much our show for tonight. We want to thank Wrestle News once again. Wrestle News
Thank you, Wrestle News.
Check it out. They have all the greatest photos of Miss Tessmacher, of Lillian Garcia, of all the divas. You can check those out. It's good.
If you're into that.
Yeah, if you're into that. They also have great Wrestle News. They also have exclusive articles. Check it out. Like our last week's guest, Zach Arnold. Great stuff from him. So be sure to check out WrestleNews.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at 97Bush, at Jimmy Bellamy, at Immortals Speakcast, and at Wrestling News. And yeah, that's our show for tonight. Do you have anything else to say, Jimmy?
Enjoy WWE 2K14.
2K14, yes. Be sure to add us on PSN. We're excited. We'll play.
Bell 0287, Bell 0287, and
9 written out, 7 Bush, 97 Bush.
NINE 7
BUSCH, like the beer. All right, peace, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.
Boom. Oh, I can't wait to play this game again.
Oh, so good. We're so good.
I'm doing the Warriors face paint right now. So excited.
The madness. No, what does he say? He's like,
Hogan. He goes,
Hogan. He's like, one warrior nation. They're coming down from the skies.
under God, indivisible, with
Yes.
liberty and justice.
For Hogan.